The Cleveland Cavaliers are an American professional basketball team based in Cleveland, Ohio. They began playing in the National Basketball Association in 1970 as an expansion team. They play their home games at Quicken Loans Arena, which they share with the Arena Football League's Cleveland Gladiators and the American Hockey League's Lake Erie Monsters. They play in the Central Division of the Eastern Conference, the only remaining charter member of the division. The Cavaliers have featured many NBA stars during its history, including draft picks turned All-Stars Austin Carr, Brad Daugherty, Zydrunas Ilgauskas, Mark Price, LeBron James, and Kyrie Irving. Past NBA greats such as Nate Thurmond, Walt, Clyde, Frazier, and Shaquille O'Neal also played in Cleveland. The team has had moderate success in its history, winning 3 Central Division championships, an Eastern Conference championship in 2007, and 18 total playoff seasons. However, the team has also had a number of dubious distinctions, such as former owner Ted Stepien's tenure, which led the NBA to create a rule regulating the trading of draft picks, and a 26-game losing streak in 2010-11, which tied the record for the longest losing streak in major American professional sports. Franchise history, team creation. The Cavaliers first began play in the NBA in 1970 as an expansion team under the ownership of Nick Meliti. Jerry Tumko, the father of future Major League Baseball pitcher Brett Tumko, submitted the winning entry to name the team the Cavaliers through a competition sponsored by the Plain Dealer. Supporters preferred it to Jays, Foresters, and Presidents. Playing their home games at Cleveland Arena under the direction of head coach Bill Fitch, they compiled a league-worst 15-67 record in their inaugural season. The team hoped to build around the number 1 1971 draft pick Austin Carr, who had set numerous scoring records at Notre Dame, but Carr severely injured his leg shortly into his pro career and never was able to realize his potential. 1970-1980, expansion. The following seasons saw the Cavaliers gradually improve their on-court performance, thanks to season-by-season additions of talented players such as Bingo Smith, Jim Cones, Jim Clemens and Dick Snyder. Cleveland improved to 23-59 in their sophomore season, followed by a 32-50 record in 1972-73, and a small step backwards to 29-53 in 1973-74. In 1974, the Cavaliers moved into the brand-new Richfield Coliseum, located in a rural area 30 miles south of downtown Cleveland in Summit County. That season, the Cavaliers finished with a 40-42 record, falling just short of a playoff berth. In the 1975-76 season with Carr, Smith, Cones, Snyder, and newly acquired Nate Thurmond, Fitch led the Cavaliers to a 49-33 record and a division title. Fitch received the league's Coach of the Year award as the Cavs made their first ever playoff appearance, and clinched their first Central Division title. The Cavs won the series against the Washington Bullets, 4-3. Because of the many heroics and last-second shots, the series became known locally as the Miracle of Richfield. They won Game 7, 87-85 on a shot by Snyder with 4 seconds to go. Hampered by injuries, particularly to Jim Cones, the Cavs proceeded to lose to the Boston Celtics in Eastern Conference Finals of the NBA playoffs. Cleveland won 43 games in both of the 1976-77 and 1977-78 seasons, but both seasons resulted in early playoff exits. After a 30-52 season in 1978-79, Fitch resigned as head coach. 1980-1983, ownership under Ted Stepien. The following season, after going 37-45 under Fitch's successor Stan Albeck, original owner Meliti sold his shares to minority owner Joe Zingale. In 1980, after just a few months, Zingale sold the team to nationwide advertising magnate Ted Stepien on April 12, 1980. The new owner oversaw the hiring and firing of a succession of coaches and was involved in making a number of poor trade and free agent signing decisions. The result of Stepien's questionable trading acumen was the loss of several of the team's first-round draft picks, which led to a rule change in the NBA prohibiting teams from trading away first-round draft picks in consecutive years. This rule is known as the Ted Stepien rule. Early on in his tenure, Stepien proposed to rename the team the Ohio Cavaliers, part of a plan that included playing their home games not just in the Cleveland area but in Cincinnati and in non-Ohio markets such as Buffalo and Pittsburgh. He also made changes to the game day entertainment, such as introducing a polka-flavored fight song and a dance team known as the Teddy Bears. The ensuing chaos had a major effect on both the Cavaliers' on-court performance and lack of local support, going 28-54 in 1980-81, followed by an abysmal 15-67 mark in 1981-82. The 1981-82 team lost its last 19 games of the season which, when coupled with the 5 losses at the start of the 1982-83 season, constitute the NBA's second all-time longest losing streak at 24 games. Although the team improved its record to 23-59 the following year, local support for the Cavs eroded, which eventually bottomed out that year by averaging only 3,900 fans a game at the cavernous Coliseum, which seated more than 20,000. Though Stepien eventually threatened to move the franchise to Toronto and rename it the Toronto Towers, brothers George and Gordon Gund purchased the franchise in the mid-1980s and decided to keep the team in Cleveland as an incentive to the Guns. NBA owners awarded the team bonus first-round picks for each year from 1983-86 to help compensate for the ones Stepien traded away. 1983 to 1986, the Guns take over. Shortly after purchasing the Cavaliers in 1983, the Guns changed the team colors from wine and gold to burnt orange and navy blue. Furthermore, they officially adopted Cavs as a shorter nickname for marketing purposes, as it had been used unofficially by fans and headline writers since the team's inception. Under the coaching of George Karl, the Cavaliers failed again, and missed the playoffs, with a 28-54 record, in the 1983-84. The Cavs finally returned to the playoffs in 1985, only to lose to the eventual Eastern Conference champions Boston Celtics in the first round. At this point, the team was in transition, led by dynamic players such as World B. Free, Roy Hinson and John Bagley. But in 1986, Karl was fired after 66 games. Interim head coach Gene Littles guided the team the rest of the way, which saw the Cavs finish just one game short of the playoffs. After the season, it was time for a major overhaul. During the 7-season period the Cavaliers had 9 head coaches. Stan Albeck, Bill Musselman, Don Delaney, Bob Klippenberg, Chuck Daly, Bill Musselman, Tom Nysorg, George Karl, and Gene Littles. The only playoff appearance earned during this sketch was during the 1984-85 season under George Karl, losing to the Boston Celtics in the first round in 4 games. 1986-1992, one of the NBA's best teams. In 1986, the Cavaliers acquired either through trades or the draft, Brad Daugherty, Mark Price, Ron Harper and Larry Nance. These 4 players formed the core of the team, under the direction of head coach Lenny Wilkens, that led the Cavs to 8 playoff seasons in the next 9 years, including 3 50-plus win seasons. In 1989, the Cavs were paired against the Michael Jordan-led Chicago Bulls in the first round of the playoffs. In the 4th game of the best-of-5 series, Cleveland managed to beat the Bulls in overtime 108-105 to level the series at 2-2. Home court advantage went to Cleveland. The game was evenly matched, until Cleveland managed to score on a drive and raise the lead by 1, with 3 seconds left. Chicago called for a timeout. The ball was inbounded to Michael Jordan, who went for a jump shot. Cleveland's Craig Ello jumped in front to block it, but Jordan seemed to stay in the air until Ello landed. The shot went in as time ran out, with Chicago winning the series 3-2. The buzzer beater is considered one of Jordan's greatest clutch moments, the game itself one of the greatest in NBA history, and the series a classic. But the pinnacle of the Cavs' success came in the 1991-92 season, when they compiled a 57-25 record and advanced to the Eastern Conference Finals, losing again to the Chicago Bulls 4-2. 1993 Euro 2003, a decade of struggle. Soon after, the Cavaliers entered into a period of decline. With the retirements and departures of Nance, Daugherty, and Price, the team lost much of its dominance and were no longer able to contest strongly during the playoffs. After the 1992 Euro 93 season, in which the Cavs boasted a 54 Euro 28 regular season record but suffered an early exit from the playoffs in the Eastern Conference semi-finals to the Chicago Bulls, Wilkins left to coach the Atlanta Hawks. Following the hiring of Mike Fratello as head coach starting with the 1993 Euro 94 season, the Cavs became one of the NBA's best defensive teams under the leadership of point guard Terrell Brandon. But the offense, which was a half-court, slow-down tempo installed by Fratello, met with mixed success. Although the Cavaliers made regular playoff appearances, they were unable to advance beyond the first round. In the 1994 NBA playoffs, the last of which Daugherty and Nance played in, the Cavaliers yet again met the Chicago Bulls in the first round, led by Scottie Pippen in the wake of Jordan's first retirement. The Bulls proved that it was not just the Jordan curse, and would prevail yet again, sweeping the Cavs 3-0 in the first round encounter. In 1994, the Cavs moved back to downtown Cleveland with the opening of the 20,562-seat, state-of-the-art, Gund Arena. Known by locals as the Gund, the venue served as the site of the 1997 NBA All-Star Game. The arena and the Cleveland Indians' Jacobs Field were built together as part of the city's Gateway project. The Cavs revamped their starting lineup during the 1997 off-season, sending guard Bobby Phills and forward Chris Mills to free agency, and trading Terrell Brandon and Tyrone Hill to the Milwaukee Bucks as part of a three-team trade. They acquired All-Star forward Shawn Kemp from the Seattle Supersonics and guard Wesley Person from the Phoenix Suns. Later on, players like Shawn Kemp and Angstrom one-half Zydrunas Ilgauskas added quality to the team, but without further success. Fratello was fired following the shortened 1998 Euro 99 season. Despite the arrivals of Andre Miller, Brevin Knight, Lamond Murray, Chris Miam and Carlos Boozer, the Cavs were a perennial lottery team for the early part of the 2000s. The 2002 Euro 03 team finished with the third-worst record in franchise history, which earned them a tie for last place in the league and a 22.5% chance at winning the NBA draft lottery and the first overall selection. Ricky Davis received national attention on March 16, 2003 in game against the Utah Jazz. With Cleveland ahead in the game 120 Euro 95, Davies was one rebound short of a triple-double with only a few seconds left on the clock. After receiving an inbound pass at the Cavs' end of the floor, Davis banged the ball off the rim and caught it in an attempt to receive credit for a rebound. Utah's DeShaun Stevenson took offense to this breach of sportsman's etiquette and immediately fouled Davies hard. The play did not count as a rebound since firing at your own team's basket does not count as a shot attempt, and in fact is a technical foul under NBA rules. Since the referees had never seen anyone shoot at their own basket before, they were unfamiliar with the rule and play was allowed to continue. This and countless other selfish acts contributed to the Cavs' trading of Davis later that year and ushering in a new type of team. 2003 Euro 2010, the LeBron James era. Several losing seasons followed which saw the Cavaliers drop to the bottom of the league and become a perennial lottery draft team. After another disappointing season in 2002 Euro 03, the Cavaliers landed the number 1 draft pick in the NBA lottery. With it, the team selected local high school phenomenon and future NBA MVP LeBron James. As if celebrating a new era in Cleveland Cavaliers basketball, the team's colors were changed from orange, black and blue back to wine and gold, with the addition of navy blue and a new primary logo. James' status as both an area star and as one of the most highly touted prospects in NBA history has led many to view his selection as a turning point in the franchise's history. Embraced by Cleveland as King James, the 2003 Euro 04 season offered great hope for the future, as James rose to become a dominating player, winning the NBA Rookie of the Year award. Hope was even greater for the 2004 Euro 05 season. James increased his production in terms of points, rebounds, and assists per game. Despite the loss of Carlos Boozer in the off-season, James teamed with Angstrom one-half Zydrunas Ilgauskas and Drew Gooden to form the core of the team. After a promising start, the Cavs began a downward spiral that eventually led to the firing of coach Paul Silas and general manager Jim Paxson. The team failed to make the playoffs that year, tied with New Jersey Nets for the final playoff spot with identical 42-40 records. However, the Nets owned the tiebreaker due to having the better head-to-head record. The Cavaliers made many changes in the 2005 off-season. Under new owner Dan Gilbert, the team hired a new head coach, Mike Brown, and a new general manager, former Cavaliers forward Danny Ferry. The team experienced success on the court in the following season, clinching their first playoff appearance since 1998. After a first-round win over the Washington Wizards, the Cavaliers rebounded from a 0-2 deficit in the second round against the number 1 seeded Detroit Pistons, winning 3 consecutive games to come one game away from the conference finals. They lost a close Game 6 at home, and followed it with a 79-61 loss in Game 7. The playoff rounds were a showcase for the emergence of LeBron James, who achieved many youngest-ever records during the run. The Cavs continued their success in the 2006-07 season. The team earned the second seed in the East with a 50-32 record, generating a series of favorable matchups in the playoffs. They battled 7th-seeded Wizards, who struggled with injuries near the end of the season. The Cavaliers swept this series 4-0, and defeated the New Jersey Nets, 4-2, in the second round. The Cavaliers faced the Pistons in the Eastern Conference Finals. After again losing the first 2 games at Detroit, the Cavaliers won the next 3 to take a 3-2 series lead. This time, the Cavaliers eliminated Detroit in Game 6. The wins included a 109-107 double overtime game at the Palace of Auburn Hills in Game 5, in which LeBron James scored the last 25 points for the Cavs, and his performance in this game is recognized as one of the best in NBA history. They continued to a dominant 98-82 win at home in Game 6. Rookie Daniel "Boobie" Gibson scored a career-high 31 points in the series clincher, and the franchise won its first ever Eastern Conference championship. The team's first trip to the NBA Finals was a short one, as they were outmatched and outplayed by the very strong San Antonio Spurs, who swept the Cavs 4-0. The Cavs took a step back in the 2007-08 season. They battled injuries and had many roster changes, including a 3-team trade at the trade deadline in which the team acquired F. Joe Smith, G.F. Wally Szczerbiak, F.C. Ben Wallace, and G. Delonte West. The Cavs finished 45-37 and lost in the second round against eventual champion Boston. The next off-season, the team made a major change to its lineup, trading G. Damon Jones and Smith for point guard Mo Williams. This trade was made in hopes of bringing another scorer to aid James. In the next season, the Cavs made astounding progress. They finished with a record of 66-16, the winningest season in the franchise's history. The year marked other notable franchise records, including a 13-game winning streak, and road and home winning records. The Cavs entered the playoffs as the number 1 seed in the NBA with home court advantage throughout the playoffs. They finished the season 39-2 at home, 1 win short of the best all-time home record. Head coach Mike Brown won NBA Coach of the Year honors and LeBron James finished second in the NBA Defensive Player of the Year award and won the NBA MVP. The Cavs began the 2009 postseason by sweeping the 8th-seeded Detroit Pistons, winning every game by 10 or more points. In the conference semifinals, the Cavaliers swept the 4th-seeded Atlanta Hawks, again winning each game by at least 10 points, becoming the first team in NBA history to win 8 straight playoff games by a double-digit margin. The Cavs then met the Orlando Magic in the Eastern Conference Finals. The Cavs lost Game 1 of the series 107-106 at home despite James' 49-point effort. Despite winning Game 2 by a score of 96-95, with the help of a James buzzer-beating three-pointer, it was not enough as Orlando eventually took the series in 6 games. During the 2009 off-season, the Cavs acquired 4-time NBA champion and 15-time All-Star center Shaquille O'Neal from the Phoenix Suns. The Cavs also signed wingman Anthony Parker, and forwards Leon Powell and Jamario Moon for the following season. On February 17, 2010, the Cavaliers acquired All-Star forward Antawn Jamison from the Washington Wizards and Sebastian Telfair from the Los Angeles Clippers in a 3-team trade. The Cavaliers originally lost angstrom one-half Zydrunas Ilgauskas in this trade, but after being waived by Washington, he signed back with the Cavaliers on March 23 for the rest of the season. The Cavaliers managed to finish with the NBA's best record for the second straight season, with a 61-21 record. James was named the NBA MVP for the second consecutive year. The Cavaliers defeated the Chicago Bulls 4-1 in the first round of the 2010 NBA playoffs but, in a huge upset, lost to the Boston Celtics after leading the series 2-1, with the Celtics proceeding to win 3 consecutive games. Each team would suffer record-setting playoff defeats on home soil. The Celtics lost by 29, 124-95. In Game 3, the greatest defeat in the history of the Boston Celtics in the playoffs, while the Cavaliers lost by 32, 120-88, in Game 5. With the Cavaliers out of the playoffs, the focus then turned to James' impending free agency. On July 8, 2010, James announced in a one-hour show named The Decision on ESPN that he would be signing with the Miami Heat. The repercussions of this announcement left many in the city of Cleveland infuriated and feeling betrayed. A number of LeBron James jerseys were burned, and the famous Nike Witness mural of James in downtown Cleveland was immediately taken down. Shortly after James made his announcement, Dan Gilbert, the owner of the Cavaliers, announced in an open letter on the Cavaliers website that James' decision was a cowardly betrayal, and promised an NBA championship for the Cleveland Cavaliers before LeBron James wins one, although James would win a championship before the Cavs with the Heat's championship win in 2012. Despite being ridiculed for the letter by the media, Cleveland fans embraced the owner, even offering to pay the $100,000 fine given by the NBA. 2010-2014, rebuilding with Kyrie Irving. During the 2010 off-season, before LeBron James left the team, the Cavaliers fired head coach Mike Brown, along with most of their coaching staff. General manager Danny Ferry resigned on June 4, 2010 and assistant general manager Chris Grant was promoted to replace Ferry. On July 1, the Cavaliers hired former Los Angeles Lakers guard and former New Jersey Nets and New Orleans Hornets head coach Byron Scott as the 18th head coach in franchise history. The Cavaliers spent the rest of the 2010 offseason rebuilding their team after James' departure. They signed 2009 first-round pick Christian Enger and acquired Ramon Sessions and Ryan Hollins from the Minnesota Timberwolves in a trade that saw the Cavs give away Delonte West and Sebastian Telfair. The Cavaliers also signed free agent Joey Graham and undrafted rookies Samado Samuels and Manny Harris. The Cavs were also active at the trade deadline in February 2011. They acquired former All-Star Baron Davis and a 2011 first-round draft pick from the LA Clippers in exchange for Mo Williams and Jamario Moon. On the court, the 2010-11 season was a stark contrast from the previous season. They went from a league-best 61 wins in 2009 October to a conference-worst 19, the biggest single-season drop in NBA history. This season also saw the Cavs lose 63 games, including a 26-game losing streak, which set an NBA record and tied the 1976-77 Tampa Bay Buccaneers for the longest losing streak in any American professional team sport. Having the second-worst team record in the 2010-11 season as well as the Clippers' first-round pick that they received in the Mo Williams-Baron Davis trade, the Cavaliers had high odds of winning an early draft pick in the NBA draft lottery, with a 22.7% chance of their pick becoming number 1 overall. The selection acquired from the Clippers became the first pick in the lottery, while the Cavaliers' original selection ended up as the number 4 selection in the draft. The Cavaliers took Duke Blue Devils guard Kyrie Irving with the first pick. With the fourth pick, the Cavaliers selected Texas Longhorns power forward Tristan Thompson. The Cavaliers used the next year to build around the two top 5 picks. They acquired small forward Omri Caspi and a lottery-protected first-round draft pick from the Sacramento Kings for forward J.J. Hickson. At the next year's trade deadline, the Cavaliers acquired forward Luke Walton and a first-round draft pick from the Los Angeles Lakers. The 2011 Euro 12 lockout-shortened season was an improvement for the Caves, as they finished 21 Euro 45. Irving was named NBA Rookie of the Year and was unanimously voted to the NBA All-Rookie First Team. Thompson was named to the NBA All-Rookie Second Team. For the second straight year, the Cavaliers had 2 first-round picks in the NBA draft. With their own number 4 pick, they chose guard Dion Waiters from Syracuse, and with pick number 17, they chose center Tyler Zeller from North Carolina. In August 2012, the Cavaliers signed veteran free agent swingman C.J. Miles. The team struggled in 2012-13, which led to them sacking head coach Byron Scott after a 64-166 record in 3 seasons. The following week, the Cavaliers rehired Mike Brown as head coach, making him the second 2-time head coach in team history, after Bill Musselman in the early 1980s. The Cavaliers had several early picks in 2013. They won the 2013 NBA Draft Lottery to receive the number 1 overall pick. They also had the 19th pick, acquired from the Los Angeles Lakers, as well as 2 out of the top 3 picks in the second round. For the third straight year the Caves had 2 picks in the first round of the NBA Draft. The Cavaliers made somewhat of a surprise pick when they drafted forward Anthony Bennett of UNLV. This made Bennett the first Canadian-born player in history to be the number 1 pick. With the 19th pick, the Cavaliers took swingman Sergei Karasev out of Russia. The Cavaliers signed free agent forward Earl Clark to a 2-year contract and veteran guard Jarrett Jack to a 4-year deal. The Cavaliers also signed 2-time NBA champion and former All-Star center Andrew Bynum to a 1-year contract. Bynum would then be traded on January 7, 2014 to the Chicago Bulls for 2-time All-Star forward Luol Deng. The Caves struggled through the 2013 Euro 14 season as on February 6, they fired GM Chris Grant. The team then announced that VP of Basketball Operations David Griffin would serve as acting GM. On May 12, 2014, the Caves announced that Griffin had been named as the full-time GM, while also announcing that Mike Brown had been fired after only 1 season in his second stint with the team following going 33 Euro 49. The Caves won the number 1 draft pick in the 2014 draft lottery, making it the 3rd time in 4 years they would win a lottery. 2014 Euro present, Return of the King. The 2014 offseason was full of change. On June 20, the Cavaliers signed longtime EuroLeague coach David Blatter, who had just led Maccabi Tel Aviv to the 2014 EuroLeague Championship, and named 2014 EuroLeague Coach of the Year to become head coach of the Caves. 3 days later, the team hired former 2-time NBA championship-winning player, and veteran assistant coach Tyronn Lue as their new associate head coach, making him the NBA's highest-paid assistant coach in the process. On June 26, the Cavaliers selected swingman Andrew Wiggins from Kansas as the number 1 pick of the 2014 NBA Draft. On July 11, 2014 via an essay written in Sports Illustrated, free agent LeBron James announced his return to the Cavaliers after leaving the team in 2010 under controversial circumstances. On July 15 the Cavaliers signed James' former Miami Heat teammate, swingman Mike Miller, coming over from the Memphis Grizzlies. Your next day the Cavaliers signed another one of James' former 2-time champion Heat teammates, swingman James Jones to a 1-year contract. Season-by-season records. Logos and uniforms. The original wine and gold. When the Cleveland Cavaliers debuted in the NBA in 1970, the team's original jerseys were wine and gold. The first jerseys featured the feather treatment of the letter C in Cavaliers. In 1974, they changed into the classic block lettering and checkerboard pattern that was synonymous to the Miracle of Richfield teams of 1976. In 1980, The gold shade was changed from yellowish to metallic, and the uniforms removed the checkerboard pattern and placed the stripes above Cleveland and below the uniform number, the only time the city name was featured in both home and away jerseys. The original logo was that of swashbuckling cavalier looking right with a sword pointing, surrounded by the team name and a basketball. A modernized swashbuckling cavalier logo was later used by the Cavaliers' NBA Development League affiliates, the Canton Charge. The gold checkerboard uniforms were used as throwbacks in the 2004 Euro 05 season to commemorate the 30th anniversary of the Miracle of Richfield team, while the gold feathered C uniforms were used again in the 2008 Euro 09 season, as a build-up to the then upcoming 40th season of the Cavaliers. The blue and orange, in the 1983 Euro 84 season, the colors were changed to burnt orange, blue and white. The first Cavaliers uniform under the new scheme featured the Caves logo in an arched pattern and the player name sewn onto the back shoulder as a patch, with orange being the primary color in both the away and home uniforms. However, in the 1987 Euro 88 season, orange was relegated as a secondary color, and blue was used instead as the primary for the away and home uniforms. Minor changes in the 1989 Euro 90 season include the city name on the blue away uniforms. The drop shadows were also removed. The orange version of the uniform was used again in the 2006 Euro 07 season, as part of the 20th anniversary of the 1986 Euro 87 team, while the blue versions were worn in the 2009 Euro 10 season as part of the franchise's 40th anniversary and as a tribute to the 1988 Euro 89 team. The blue, black and orange, coinciding with the move to Gund Arena in the 1994 Euro 95 season, the Caves changed logos and uniforms, adding black in addition to the already existing blue, orange and white colors. The uniforms feature a blue splash in the abdomen area in front. From 1994 Euro 96 the word Caves on the home uniforms were orange with black line, while the numbers are in black with white line, while Cleveland on the road uniforms were also orange with black line, while the number are in white with a black line. From 1996 Euro 99 the numbers and lettering were slightly tweaked. The word Caves and the numbers on the home uniforms are in black with orange line, while the word Cleveland and the numbers on the road uniforms are in white with orange line. In the latter iteration, the blue splash was moved from the right leg to the left leg, surrounding Cleveland on the home uniforms and Caves on the road uniforms, with a minor change in striping. In the 1999 Euro 2000 season, the Cavaliers opted to go for a cleaner look, eliminating the splash and adding an orange and blue line that runs through the shorts. The home jerseys feature the team nickname and the uniform numbers are in blue with black line, while on the away jerseys, they feature the city name and the uniform numbers in white with blue line. They were used until the 2002 Euro 03 season. The logo used in this period was of a basketball on its way down the net, surrounded by a black square and the word Caves in blue with black line below. The new wine and gold, the Cavaliers switched to a modified version of the team's classic wine and gold scheme in the 2003 Euro 04 season, with navy blue added to the color scheme. The home jersey was white, with the word Cavaliers in wine lettering with gold trim on the front, the player's name in wine lettering with gold trim on the back, the player's numbers in navy blue, and wine and gold trim on the sides. The team's standard road uniform was wine-colored, with the word Cleveland, the player's name, and the player's numbers all in white lettering with gold trim, as well as white and gold trim on the sides. The team's third alternate uniform was navy blue with the word Cleveland, the player's name, and the player's numbers all in white lettering with gold trim, as well as a wine, gold, and navy blue checkerboard trim. The checkerboard trim was a tribute to the original Cavaliers jerseys from the 70s. The logo used is a gold sword piercing to the words Cleveland Cavaliers in white and navy trim, with a wine basketball surrounding it. The return to old-school wine and gold, the Cavaliers debuted new uniforms before the start of the 2010 Euro 11 NBA season, to coincide with the team returning to the original shades of wine and gold used in the 1970s. The home uniform is white with a wine and gold horizontal stripe trim on the collar, sleeves, waistband, and pant legs, Cavaliers in wine on the front of the jersey, with wine lettering for the name and number, and white shoes and socks. The road uniform is wine-colored with the same stripe trim, Cleveland in gold on the front of the jersey, and gold lettering on the name and number, with black shoes and socks. A third alternate uniform was added for the 2012 Euro 13 season, which is gold with CAVS in wine on the front of the jersey, wine lettering on the name and number, white socks and shoes, and the same stripe trim as the other uniforms. All uniforms have the team motto "All for One, One for All" stitched on the inside of the collar, and the secondary sword C logo on the side of the pant legs. The logo used is the same piercing sword logo, updated to the classic wine and gold scheme. Special uniforms. Beginning in the 2008 Euro 09 season, the Cavaliers began wearing special mashup uniforms on select Cavs Fanatic nights, a promotion to plug the CavFanatic.com fan site. In 2008 Euro 10 the team wore the original feathered C uniforms but with a 1994 Euro 2003 shade of blue combined with the classic wine and gold shade. In 2009 Euro 10, the team wore their 1987 Euro 89 uniforms, but in the classic wine and gold from the Miracle of Richfield era. In 10 Euro 11, the team wore the 2005 Euro 10 checkerboard alternate uniforms, but in the 1994 Euro 2003 color scheme of blue, black and orange. In 11 Euro 12, the team wore a variation of the current uniform design, but in the classic shade of blue used from 1987 Euro 94. The words CAVS, player name and numbers are in the current lettering and in the wine and gold scheme. Home arenas: Cleveland Arena, Coliseum at Richfield, Quicken Loans Arena, Cleveland Clinic Courts. In 2007 the Cavaliers opened their practice facility team headquarters, Cleveland Clinic Courts, in Independence, Ohio. It replaced the former one-court center the team used within Quicken Loans Arena. Players of note. Current roster, retain draft rights. The Cavaliers hold the draft rights to the following unsigned draft picks who have been playing outside the NBA. A drafted player, either an international draftee or a college draftee who isn't signed by the team that drafted him, is allowed to sign with any non-NBA teams. In this case, the team retains the player's draft rights in the NBA until 1 year after the player's contract with the non-NBA team ends. This list includes draft rights that were acquired from trades with other teams. Retired numbers. Groundbreaking players: Lance Already, Euro 2007, Euro 2008, Basketball Hall of Famers, Nate Thurmond, Euro player 1985, Walt Frazier, Euro player 1987, Lenny Wilkens, Euro player 1989, coach 1998, 1992 U.S. Olympic team assistant coach, 2010 and coach, Chuck Daly, Euro coach 1994, 1992 U.S. Olympic team head coach, 2010, Wayne Embry, Euro contributor 1999 and first African American to serve in that role in the NBA, high points, franchise leaders. Career: Gamiza, Euro Angstrom 1/2 Zydrunas Ilgauskas, games started, Euro Angstrom 1/2 Zydrunas Ilgauskas, minutes played, Euro LeBron James, field goals made, Euro LeBron James, field goal attempts, Euro LeBron James, 3-point field goals made, Euro Mark Price, 3-point field goal attempts, Euro LeBron James, free throws made, Euro LeBron James, free throw attempts, Euro LeBron James, offensive rebounds, Euro Angstrom 1/2 Zydrunas Ilgauskas, defensive rebounds, Euro Brad Daugherty, total rebounds, Euro Angstrom 1/2 Zydrunas Ilgauskas, assists, Euro Mark Price, steals, Euro LeBron James, blocked shots, Euro Angstrom 1/2 Zydrunas Ilgauskas, turnovers, Euro LeBron James, personal fouls, Euro Angstrom 1/2 Zydrunas Ilgauskas, points, Euro LeBron James, per game, minutes played, Euro LeBron James, field goals made, Euro LeBron James, field goals attempted, Euro LeBron James, 3-point field goals made, Euro Dan Major, 3-point field goal attempted, Euro Dan Major, free throws made, Euro LeBron James, free throws attempted, Euro LeBron James, offensive rebounds, Euro Angstrom 1/2 Idra. Now Ilgauskas, defensive rebounds Euro Cliff Robinson, total rebounds Euro Rick Robertson, assists Euro Andre Miller, steals Euro Ron Harper, blocked shots Euro Larry Nance, turnovers Euro Sean Kemp, personal fouls Euro James Edwards, points Euro LeBron James, per 48 minutes, field goals Maddie Euro LeBron James, field goals attempted Euro World Be Free, 3-point field goals Maddie Euro Damon Jones, 3-point field goals attempted Euro Damon Jones, free throws Maddie Euro LeBron James, free throws attempted Euro LeBron James, offensive rebounds Euro Chris Dudley, defensive rebounds Euro Cliff Robinson, total rebounds Euro Rick Robertson, assists Euro Brevin Knight, steals Euro Foots Walker, blocked shots Euro Elmer Smith, turnovers Euro Sean Kemp, personal fouls Euro Mark West, points Euro LeBron James, individual awards, NBA All-Star Weekend, radio and TV. WTAM AM 1100 is the flagship of a 16-station Cavaliers radio network. John Michael and former Cavaliers star Jim Cones are the radio team, with WTAM morning co-host sports director Mike Snyder hosting the pre-game post-game shows. Either Cones or former Ohio State standout and NBA player Brad Sellers will join Snyder for the post-game show. On the television side, Cavaliers games air on FS Ohio, with select games simulcast on WAB Channel 43. The broadcast team includes play-by-play announcer Fred McLeod, analyst Austin Carr, and sideline reporter Allie Clifton. WKRK-FM midday co-host Jeff Phelps and former Cavaliers star Campy Russell host the pre-game post-game shows. Mascots, past, Whammer. Whammer is the former mascot of the Caves. He is a polar bear who is said to have grown up in the tundra and still makes occasional appearances throughout the season at Cavalier games. At halftime he used to dunk a basketball. Whammer's debut was in a November 9, 1995 game against the Chicago Bulls. However, Whammer's tenure coincided with a long dry spell in the franchise's history, with the Sean Kemp playoff runs being an exception. In fact, few local fans even were aware that the Caves had a mascot. Recently when Moondog, the current Cavaliers mascot, was asked what Whammer was up to these days, he responded he emails the brain trust of the Caves about twice a week trying to get his old job back. I throw him a bone occasionally and invite him back, mostly to mock him. Finally he's good for a laugh. Current Moondog is the official mascot of the Cavaliers. Like a growing number of NBA mascots, the character has a unique connection not just to the team, but to the city and surrounding area. Cleveland is known worldwide as the Rock and Roll City, due to famed Cleveland radio disc jockey Alan Freed, who popularized the phrase rock and roll, breaking new ground and sparking a music explosion. Freed called himself the Moondog, and his listeners were Moondoggers. When the Cavaliers looked to create a new mascot which represents the city, Moondog was a natural selection. Like Alan Freed, the mascot aims to be innovative, fun-loving, passionate and controversial. Moondog was an NBA All-Star selection in 2003 and 2004. He is best known for his behind-the-back half-court shot and fierce loyalty to his Cavaliers. His first appearance was on November 5, 2003. CC. On November 27, 2010 during the Cavaliers-Memphis Grizzlies game, a new mascot debuted named CC, who is a swashbuckler character and teams up with Moondog to provide game-time entertainment at home games. References. External links. Official website, Cleveland Cavaliers on basketball-reference.com